In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Kartotek Everyday Notes Notebook. I'll go over the specs, I'll do a paper test, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this notebook coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. So this is the Kartotek Everyday Notes Notebook. This is a really nice, simple notebook. In terms of the specs here, this is sort of the belly band that comes on it. You can see they're based in Copenhagen, and there's 40 sheets, so you get 80 pages total, and we have ruled writing paper, and it's made in Denmark. I believe this is the only notebook that I have and that I can think of that I've used that's made in Denmark. So I think that's pretty cool. I really like the light blue check paper soft cover here. It's a thick paper. You can see it actually did get a little bit bumped, unfortunately, in shipping. So it's not the most durable, but pretty much I think what you would expect for a paper soft cover. Now, it's 100-gram paper. I believe it is uncoated. The size, 19 centimeters by 26 centimeters, is a weird size. It's a little bit bigger than a B5 notebook, but I would say that's the most similar standard size notebook to this. Just as a comparison, this is a Papermind Mitsubishi bank paper notebook in an A5 size. So you can see we're quite a bit bigger here. Probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on each side there. So definitely big. Now, in terms of features, we basically just have ruled pages and that's it. There's no paste down, nothing else is in here. It is a 7mm rule. It's like a grayish blue line and then sort of like a coppery brown line at the top. We also have a place for the title and date for each of these pages. Now, it's a stitched binding. We have 5 signatures. You can see there's a big chunk of glue there, so this, I mean, glue isn't necessarily a bad thing. Most high-end books and notebooks are made with some glue, but this is stitched, and you'll notice it's very tight. I think they probably use a hot glue or something like that, but it's not the most lay flat, even though it is stitched. I find as I've been using, this is the second one of these that I've had, but as I've been using these, I kind of just go across and I take like a bone folder type thing and just run it along there as I'm going, just so that it stays flat. Now that said, if you jump to a spot that I haven't really gotten to yet, because it is a bigger notebook, the weight does kind of pull it down a little bit. But for me, for it to be comfortable, I'm pretty much using one of these to do each page sort of as I go. So not exactly the best binding. Now, going over to the paper test, and you're seeing a little sneak preview of how it performs. So, with like a Pilot 6mm and the 3.8mm parallel pens, we definitely get a little bit of feathering, a little bit of fuzziness. Not horrible, but there's a little bit there. The other more normal pens, I don't really see too much of it. Maybe a little bit on this Omas Ajiva, where I'm really kind of pushing on the pen, and where this pen puts a lot of ink down, you can maybe see a little bit of fuzziness there. The Oto Fude ball looks a little bit more messy than normal, although that one normally isn't that clean. I think the rest of it looks good. This is a nice paper. It's a smooth paper to write on. I really have enjoyed using it. Now you'll see on the Pilot Parallels we did bleed through. The rest of the pens look okay. I've been using this a lot with my Mont Blanc OBB nib, and that one I do notice does spot, but not really a lot, not to the point where it's bothering me and I don't want to write on it. Some people will of course be more sensitive to that. Now looking at the roller balls here, we do see a little bit of spotting. The Oto Fude ball, and actually the Stabilo Sensor fine liner, we get a little bit of spotting. The rest of the pens look pretty good. Uniball Air Micro, again, another roller ball. And then of course 2 permanent markers, the oil drawing pen and the Copic sketch, of course, bled through and even onto the other side. Those don't normally pass, but for the most part, I would say that this is a fountain pen friendly notebook. You just can't go that wide with it. It is really nice to write on, this paper, so I do like it. Going to the back here, nothing, just the plain light blue soft cover. This thing costs, I think, $11.50. That's a little bit expensive. If you like this size notebook and are, okay smushing down the pages like I like to do, I think it's pretty nice. So what are my pros and cons for the Kartotek Everyday Notebook? The biggest pro for me are the looks. I really do like this clean, kind of crisp aesthetic that this notebook has. I like the paper soft cover. Everything about the notebook kind of has a nice natural feel to it, which I do like. I like the paper. The 100G paper is pretty good with fountain pens. It's very enjoyable to write on. I've been using my oblique double broad Mont Blanc 149 with this a lot, and I really like using that pen with this. However, there is a little bit of bleeding. It doesn't bother me, but it might bother some people. I would say, if you stick with a medium and below, you won't have any issues with bleeding on this paper, but it is quite nice to write on, so I do really like that. In terms of cons, so it's $11.50 in the United States. It's a little expensive. You get 40 sheets, so it's 80 pages total. It's a little bit bigger than a B5. It's not a bad size. It's not my favorite. I prefer a B5 or a smaller notebook like an A5. The biggest con for me really though is the binding. It is a stitched binding, but it's really, I don't know if they used like a hot glue or something, but it's pretty darn stiff. And I find myself, using like a bone folder to kind of crease the pages as I go just so that it stays open. Now, one of the good things about the bigger size is because, it's larger, there's more weight pulling the paper down on the sides. So it does kind of mitigate that so-so binding a little bit. But that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this notebook? Do you like this notebook? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, and until next time.